guys, and that's my Raw review, and I've had to kind of like change the angle or like move the camera slightly over because even though it's like freezing cold and horrible here, the sun's like glaring through my window, which isn't good. And I also have like a really sore eye, so I just like because I do like a little camera test before, and my eye, this is my right eye, looks really horrible. So if you're thinking that I look really strange, it's because I've had this like really bad eye for like 2 days now, and it like really hurts all the time, and it looks like, you know, like it's like half shut, which isn't good. So yeah, now that I've got that little ramble out of the way, I can actually start talking about Raw. I thought Raw was pretty good this week. It just felt it was different, you know, like the way that they were doing like the whole kind of like main event thing. There was lots of different stuff happening and a lot of storylines that are kind of all like linking together throughout the show, which I thought was good because a lot of times they do stuff which like makes no sense. But all of this kind of show kind of linked together and was good. And Dolph Ziggler's finally being put into the main event. I was happy. Obviously, I mean, it's not kind of yet, but getting there. Anyway, I'm going to explain now. So obviously, John Cena comes out at the start of Raw. Fairly, like, you know, more positive reaction from this crowd than negative. There was a lot more, like, kind of, like, cheers and boos. But, you know, so he was obviously, started talking and he thanked, obviously, Piper, you know, for last week. And he says that the fans can react to him however they want. And he was, like, obviously talking about, you know, because he was talking about WrestleMania and saying, you know, he wanted Rock versus him to be, you know, a championship match. So he said, like, CM Punk, that he was, you know, coming for him to get a title shot. But then Alberto Del Rio comes out and he says that he should be the one that got the title match. Cena was like, well, you lost last week, you don't get another one, and he was like, yeah, well, Punk cheated, and therefore he should be the champion. Then Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler came out, and I was like, yes, because, you know, I want Dolph to be, like, involved in the, like, more main event scene. So they came out, and Vicky said that Dolph deserved the title shot. Dolph and Cena had this, like, kind of, like, banter session. I don't really remember what they said. It actually wasn't that great, but, you know, never mind. Then The Miz comes out. Even better, this segment, I'm liking it already. There's already like 2 people in this like kind of feud that I like, so, you know, and both heels. Isn't it weird, like, how now, like, when I was younger, I used to, obviously, it was always very much, I only like the faces, I completely hate the heels. Now I tend to prefer the heels to the faces, obviously, apart from, like, Punk and Orton. But on the whole, I generally prefer the heels, which is weird. But, you know, anyway, moving on. So Miz comes out, and he says he's a superstar of 2011, so he should get a title shot. Then John Laurinaitis comes out and, you know, stops them all, like, arguing, and he says that, if Dolph Ziggler, Miz and Del Rio are going to face Smackdown opponents, and if they win their match, then they're going to get put into a championship match at TLC. And then obviously he says to Cena that he's got like a special opponent for him and wants to put him in a social experiment match. So that was the opening segment, so that wasn't actually too bad, to be honest. So then the first match was The Miz versus Randy Orton, obviously rematch from when they had their, you know, because it was obviously Miz that took the title off Orton last year. It was last year. Oh, I can't believe that was like a year ago now. This year has gone really, really fast. Anyway, so, pretty decent match, to be honest. Miz counters Orton's like DDT. Orton hits a scoop slam on the floor, but then Wade Barrett comes out, and Orton goes after Barrett. So Miz like wins because Orton gets like counted out. So obviously like Orton's like kind of raging, so he goes back into the ring, or goes back down towards the ring to try and take out Miz. But then Barrett comes out and attacks him from behind. So Miz has gone through to the championship match. So that actually wasn't bad, you know, because like Miz, it didn't weaken Orton because he obviously didn't get like pinned by Miz. But then it didn't make Miz look too bad either, you know, because it was like Barrett interference. It wasn't like, you know, specifically like, you know, Barrett laid out Orton so that Miz could get the pin. It was more just, you know what I'm trying to say. So anyway, moving on. So then Alberto Del Rio, it was in a match against Daniel Bryan. Really quick. I know it's because obviously Bryan was supposed to be beat up from their cage match on Smackdown, so Del Rio won like really quickly with like the cross arm breaker. So he's also through. Kelly and Eve faced Beth Phoenix and Natalya. The Queen of the Roll-Up strikes again. Kelly comes in and, yeah, was she in from the start? She might have been. I honestly don't know. It was a bad match. She basically wins with like a roll-up, which was absolutely ridiculous because Beth had the advantage for ages, and then she just rolled her off, and it was like, what? So yeah, that just annoyed me. Kelly, learn some moves. Learn to actually wrestle, not win all of your matches with a friggin' roll-up. Anyway, so the social experiment match we found out was actually Zack Ryder versus John Cena, obviously, because, you know, Zack's like, you know, super popular at the moment. Cena, they're good friends, so Laurinaitis wanted to put them in a match with each other, and he said that if Cena won, he got to go into the title match at TLC, but if Zack Ryder won, then he got to face Dolph Ziggler, you know, for the U.S. Championship. So I was, like, quite interested in this and, like, what was actually going to happen, you know, because obviously they both wanted their, like, title matches and obviously being friends and everything. This wasn't actually too decent, that sounds bad. This wasn't actually too bad of a match, to be honest. Obviously, you know, because Cena, like, Zack Ryder actually got quite a lot of offense in on this, even though he's, like, you know, like, mid-carder, Cena's, you know, top babyface, well, hated babyface in the company. So, you know, normally you expect, like, Cena to kind of win easily, or whether he was just, you know, being nice because Zack was his friend. I don't really know why, but obviously, yeah, it was kind of fairly even match, like, throughout, to be honest. Ryder hits a nice swinging neck breaker and a missile drop kick. He goes for the Rough Rider, but it gets countered. Cena hits the 5 moves of doom, goes for the attitude adjustment, but Zack manages to counter it and hits the big boot. But then he goes to the Rough Rider again, and it gets countered into the attitude adjustment. So Cena wins. So obviously Zack's like devastated, you know, and he was like, Cena, you took my chance, you know, you've had title shots, and this is my first one, and now I can't, you know, do it, blah blah. So Cena was like, wait here, and goes backstage, you know, and has a go at like Laurinaitis and said, oh, you know, you never give him like opportunities, and Laurinaitis is like, yeah, he just had it and he blew it. But Cena's like, no, that's not fair, you know, loads of people gave me opportunities and stuff, and nobody will give Zack any, so you need to do something about it. And he was like, oh. Laurinaitis was like, okay, here's what I'll do. If you forfeit your spot in the title match, then Zack Ryder can face somebody else, and if he wins that match, he can go on. So obviously Cena thinks about it, and then he does decide to forfeit his title match, which is obviously, or title match spot, which is actually quite interesting, you know. I mean, I know that it's Cena's character, you know, he's supposed to be like the nice guy that, you know, helps his like kind of friends out and stuff, but I was a bit like, interesting. So it's, yeah, I'm kind of actually interested in what they're actually doing with Cena at the moment. I know there's like a lot of people that are still like, he's not going to turn heel, but I really do not know. It might happen eventually. I'm staying positive. We'll wait and see what happens at WrestleMania and go from there. Anyway, so obviously Cena forfeits his title like shot, so Zack has another match, and it actually ends up being Mark Henry who's got a face, so Zack Ryder's like, no chance whatsoever. That was the whole point why Laurinaitis put it in there. But they also said at the start of the match, to ensure that there was a winner, there would be no disqualifications or count-outs, and it's like, that's going to imply that somebody's going to interfere in this. So obviously, you know, Ryder had like pretty much no chance. He got a couple of moves in on Henry, but Henry, you know, was just overpowering him. But then Cena ran out and actually hit the attitude adjustment on Henry and literally just threw Zack on top of Henry so that he got the pin. So Zack Ryder actually gets his US Championship match. Everything is happening the way I said it should be. Ryder wins the title off Ziggler. Ziggler moves up to the main event. Everybody's happy. It's all good. So I'm liking this Raw so far. So, then we have the downside, Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash faced Santino Marella in a complete squash match. Nash won with a jackknife powerbomb. It was thankfully really, really short, because obviously I would have died if he had like an actual proper length match. But on the very, very bad side, at TLC, it's supposed to be a ladder match between Triple H and Kevin Nash. Worst moment of my life. No, I'm joking, it's not that bad. But it is going to be pretty bad. I mean, and apparently there's going to be a sledgehammer hanging above the ring, and whoever grabs the sledgehammer is allowed to use it. Fun. So, that's one match which I'm going to be falling asleep during. If it's like a long match, I just don't think I can stand it. Kevin Nash is just... Anyway, moving on. So then we have the last match, obviously, for people to gain entry into the title match. So it was Dolph Ziggler facing Sheamus. So yeah, I don't know, obviously I wanted Ziggler to win, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be like too quick, and obviously I kind of thought, well, he's got to face Zack, so he's probably not going to win, and he didn't actually win. So Sheamus goes for the Celtic Cross, but it gets reversed, but then Zack Ryder comes out and distracts Ziggler, and so Sheamus wins with a bro kick, and then after the match, Zack hits the Rough Rider on Ziggler. So obviously, yes, they're all building obviously up the title match, and obviously this whole thing with like Cena and building up the Ziggler and Zack U.S. title match, so hopefully that will be at the pay-per-view as well. So at the moment, apart from the ladder match, TLC is actually shaping up to be fairly decent. So obviously then we have the contract signing between obviously Punk, Del Rio and Miz, so that's going to be obviously, you know, they haven't really done that kind of like for a while, you know, like a triple threat where it's kind of like, you know, two heels and like obviously Punk, because, you know, Del Rio and Miz say they don't really like each other at all, but they're probably going to help each other obviously against Punk, so fingers crossed for a Punk win still. Obviously I like the Miz, don't get me wrong, I really like the Miz, but I would just rather see Punk stay as a champion, to be honest. And obviously I can't remember if I said earlier, it's going to actually be a triple threat TLC match at TLC. So that should be interesting. I don't think I saw last year's TLC, so I can't actually tell you what actually happened. Did they actually have a TLC match? Because I know the one that I watched, did they just do a tables match, a ladder match and a chair match? Did they? No. I don't know. I honestly can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. Too long ago, and I remember not liking the TLC pay-per-view in 2009. So hopefully this time, very different. Why is it suddenly get really dark? Like, the weather changes like crazy when I'm doing my videos. It's like bright one minute and then it's like completely dark. So then you have a contract signing. which, to be fair, wasn't like the best. Punk was just basically saying, you know, that it was boring. He did this back when he had like the I'm sure it was a contract signing either with Cena or was it Triple H. I can't remember, but he was saying it was boring and it should just end in like fighting or whatever. Laurinaitis says, you know, no, we don't want to like fight or whatever. This is a historic moment, so we should all like, you know, have like a photo shoot or whatever. And tries to get Punk to like pose for a photo with like Laurinaitis, Del Rio, and Miz, and he's just like, no. And basically, they just start kind of like brawling, and then he bulldogs Del Rio through the table and hits the GPS on Miz to end the show. So that was that. It was a good episode of Raw overall. Makes up for the atrocity that was Smackdown last week. So yeah. So I don't know what you guys thought about it. I've read some kind of like some people were like having a go saying that it was stupid that you know, Ryder should have beat Cena cleanly in the first match, but that wouldn't have made any sense having like, you know, Zack, no offense to him, but you know, Cena is the main event guy, so it would have been a massive upset, or just it would have been weird if like Ryder had actually beaten Cena first of all. But obviously this whole thing with him giving up his title shots, kind of forfeiting this whole thing with him forfeiting his like title shot is obviously quite interesting, and so I don't actually know what they're going to do with him at the pay-per-view if he's not in the title match. But you know, we'll see what happens. And obviously I'm assuming on the Smackdown side they're obviously building up Orton and Barrett. That should be obviously a pretty good match, and obviously then we'll have Big Show versus Mark Henry round 3, as long as they don't put them in like, you know, like a chairs match or something, because that would be absolutely terrible. But probably will, because, you know, the whole thing was like, you know, the chair on the leg, that's been like a featuring thing in their feud. So we'll see what happens. And so I just want to say thanks to like my new subscribers that I've had recently. I've had quite a few in like the last couple of weeks, you know, which is surprising, seeing it was mainly from, you know, doing a like tour of my bedroom video. So I'm glad that you guys didn't think that was like totally boring. I actually got quite a few views on that. So yeah, but I will do at some point a video on my wrestling video collection. It's just that they're all in those big boxes, and it would have taken me ages to go through them on that video, so I'll do that as like a completely separate video sometime. And I just want to say, I'm really hopeless at doing like shout outs and stuff, because it's just not something that I've really ever kind of done, like, you know, apart from like when I did like my whatever video it was. Did this for 500 subscribers? I said a few people, but you know, it's just not something that I really do lots, and I don't really think about it. There's just a couple people. Firstly, as a YouTuber called Mr. Just Ray, I've been watching his videos for quite a while, and he did like a shout out for me on one of his last videos, which was cool. So thank you for doing that. And so just, yeah, if you want to go and like see his channel, I'll put the link below. There's obviously wrestling reviews. Because like me, I pretty much just review the shows. I don't like kind of do separate videos like talking about situations that I think are going to happen or what's going with the storyline. He does like a lot of videos like that, like talking about future storylines and where things are going and if people are going to return and that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to hear his views and stuff on that. So obviously, yeah, I'll put a link below for him, and also to Spaz Phoenix. Videos are really interesting. There's like longer videos than I do, yeah, no, they are interesting and good, and I've obviously watched like quite a few of them. So yeah, so if you, and he's mentioned me and stuff, and he's obviously been like really good supporter, that's the wrong word, a good subscriber. Why did I say supporter for? You know, I'm really rubbish with this whole shout out thing, I just like ramble. So yeah, I'll put the link to, yeah, Mr. Just Ray and Spaz Phoenix's channels below. So yeah, subscribe to them if you wish to. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for now. So yeah, I should be back on Sunday for my Smackdown review. I'm not sure what time it will be, because I'm actually out all Saturday night. I've got my staff Christmas do, which we're going out for like supposed to be a meal and a dance, and I don't dance at all in the slightest. So it'll probably be me having the meal and then standing in the corner for the rest of the night. But you know, so yeah, it might be later on, like the video might be done later on. I might be going to cinema actually. So I don't know, we'll see. I hope to have a video up for Sunday, but don't hold your breath, it might not actually happen. But you know, anyway, so I'm going to stop rambling now because I've been going on for ages. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!